Warning. The following is intended for mature audiences. It includes references to the use of illicit substances as well as crude humor. Listener discretion is advised. Shaft! He'll save every one of us! He'll shaft every one of us! Sweet Christmas, you crazy warlocks. I'm Zach Nanimus.
And I'm Jerome.
And we gave you all of that funky intro because we just saw Luke Cage Episode 1, Volume 1 of The Defenders, the season premiere. Warriors, absolutely not for hire. This was a show that I was very skeptical of. We did an episode when its first teaser came out because, Daredevil Season 2 was all a buzz. Everybody very excited to see more from Defenders. Glad to see more Netflix exclusive Marvel stuff because it's some of the best stuff to come out of Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
You know that I've been very critical of Marvel lately with Civil War. I know that you didn't have a good time.
No.
Yeah. People were falling over themselves for that movie.
Yeah.
Be that as it may, I came in skeptical. I was having Captain America 3 fatigue. I wasn't ready to enjoy this. The executive producer, who's a man, and I'm going to butcher his name. I wrote it down. Okay. Cheo Hodari Coker is the executive producer. He once worked with Vibe magazine, and he around the time that the first teaser came out said that hip hop was going to be a very large part of the general aesthetic, if not the narrative, for Luke Cage. That made me think that it was going to be kind of misplaced. Made me feel a little bit like Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed has a lot of hip-hop in the promotion. I am God, and people over there say I'm God, and people over there say I'm God, and you better not mess with God, because God knows your telephone number, something like that. I am God, even though I'm a man of God, my whole life in the hand of God. But the thing about putting in R&B and hip-hop to this show is that it is perfect. I cannot believe I doubted Mr. Coker for even a moment. Mm-hmm. It sets the tone so well and makes everything so good about this. Jeremy, how'd you feel?
I was very, very pleased with the premiere of Luke Cage. From a cinematic standpoint, I thought it was awesome. Really good camera angles. I always like to see when there's people that are supposed to be, imposing when you have the camera angle that's looking up at them like they're awe-inspiring. I think there were some really cool decisions made with lighting. Really kind of gave like a noir aesthetic to the whole thing. The writing was good. I just, really polished product. Really, really, really enjoyed the entire thing.
Going back to the color and cinematography, it reminded me a lot of another one of my favorite pieces of cinema, Dick Tracy. Because everything is so bold and so exaggerated that you would assume that, oh, this is silly. I can't believe they're doing that. But they do it just right, so it sucks you in. As far as the noir thing is concerned, that's kind of something that they did with Jessica Jones. But Jessica Jones is, I think that Luke Cage falls in this weird sort of place where Jessica Jones was more of a classic noir in a modern setting. But Luke Cage, and they're obviously trying to do this, is getting around the blaxploitation film era, sort of a neo-noir kind of thing.
Yes.
And yes, you can say it because it's just a type of film. They call themselves that.
Yes.
So we're getting into Shaft, some of the things that lampoon it, like I'm gonna get you, Sucka.
Yeah.
What was the kung fu one?
That was The Last Dragon, Bruce Leroy.
It knew exactly what it was, and it looked good doing it, and it had fun doing it.
Oh yeah!
All the way down to the last fight. It literally is either a Chinese food restaurant or a laundromat, and I can't remember.
It's a Chinese restaurant.
It's a Chinese food restaurant.
I don't know what's on the menu. But the owners of this establishment are definitely of Asian descent.
Either way, he gets into this fight with these thugs that are shaking everybody down, and like in the background is like an action soundtrack straight out of the 70s with the muted guitar and like
lots of wall pedal,
Yeah, and like a chorus, like.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
It was awesome.
Loved every moment of it, and literally just because of its excess. Now, one thing that is a little more difficult to talk about, and I'll try to do this as delicately as possible. But I want to talk about what I don't like about people who are different. No, it does really well to push a narrative that is about inclusion. because and you don't see it so much with the characters are like the good guys are like, oh, everyone's created equal, you know? It's more like all the bad guys are going for like this weird sort of segregation narrative. And you hear this a lot from only the bad guys. Mm-hmm. And I think that even from a political standpoint, this show is doing all the right stuff, talking about how we should be together and accept and enjoy our differences instead of separating ourselves for them. To
go even into murkier waters, I should say. Typically, when you see the big bad guy that wants segregation within the community, mm-hmm.
He's
going to be white.
Classically in film,
right?
What you're saying.
Right. But in this show, the segregationists are black.
Well, everybody's
black. But it's something
one guy who made the one banker movie with Kevin Spacey. What's that guy's name? Oh, you know who he is? He was in Pulp Fiction. He's Big Brain Brad.
Oh,
look at Big Brain on Brad.
Yeah. And I think that it's really cool to see a piece of media that I mean, everybody is watching and it's being distributed, you know, to everyone. Mm-hmm. And it kind of turns that on its head a little bit.
We have such heavy topics. I'm looking forward to the next one where we can both just crap on a game that nobody likes. I think overall, the message here is that Luke Cage is done very, very well on every level. Special effects, cinematography, writing, it is all extremely good. Mm-hmm. And everyone should go watch it. Don't bring your kids. Luke Cage cannot stop having sex in these shows.
Mm-hmm. So overall, Luke Cage, here from the Warlocks, it gets 2 staffs straight up.
2 staffs?
Yeah, wizards have staffs.
Good night, everybody. Which actually, Enter the Dragon, at its time, was marketed in a similar way and followed similar tropes. Although the main character wasn't black, it was the same kind of film. You know, a minority and who's the hero, which was a big deal at the time.